Hi guys, today I'm going to teach you how to make palm nut soup. Okay, so if you're here and you've been struggling with palm nut soup, do not worry, you're going to get it right from here. Okay, and I'm just going to simplify this recipe for you guys. So I'm going to be using processed palm nut extract for this recipe, something similar to inkulenu. So if you're here and you prefer that, then you're good to go. This recipe is just for you. Let's get started. To make palm nut soup or any soup at all, you need a very good soup base. Okay, and for soup base, you always need enough ginger and garlic. So for the soup base, I have my ginger, garlic, onion, bell pepper, carrot, and I'm going to add in some rosemary and KPAKPOSHITO. Blend this and then you're going to set this aside. Make sure you're using enough ginger, garlic, onion. That's a basic one, okay? Then if you want to add more pepper, you can add pepper, you can add bell pepper, you can add all that. Now, when you're making soups like palm nut soup, ebunu, those thick soups, you don't need a lot of tomatoes in it, okay? Because if you add a lot of it, it will thicken up the soup because those soups are already thick, okay? So I'm going to use 4 tomatoes and 2 onions, and then I'm going to add some pepper. Make sure you reduce your pepper if you don't like enough pepper in your soup, or if you're not a spicy food lover. Otherwise, this might be too spicy for you, but for me, I like spicy food. For the proteins, I'm going to be using some smoked cow meat, and I'm going to add in some crabs and then my snails, okay? And one thing you need to know about soups is that the protein really influences the soup. So for palm nut soup, you don't use some kind of proteins. You use these smoked fishes, crabs, snails, and all that. So I'm going to be adding my pepper mix that I blended, and I'm going to add in my seasoning. Then I add in some EGYE spice. Don't worry, I'll list the ingredients for my seasonings in the description box. Now add just a little water, cover this, and let your protein properly cook. Now check on your tomatoes and peppers that you are cooking, and also when it's soft, you can blend that and set it aside. Now about 20 minutes later, I'm going to check on my meat, and then once it starts boiling like this, we can now add our tomato mix that we've blended. Okay, now when you're blending, you don't need to add any water to it because it's already soft. So you're just going to pour that blended tomato mix into the soup and then give this a good mix. You can decide to sieve the tomato mix into the soup if you like. That's for those who like very, very light soup, okay? Now cover the soup and let it cook for just 10 minutes. In fact, you can even cook it for 5 minutes because it's not what we're cooking palm nut soup, okay? So I have my palm nut extract here. You can use inkulenu if you like, or you can go through the very stressful process of making palm nuts. That is actually pounding the palm nuts, sieving, and all that. Or you can just buy your inkulinu, any processed palm extract, and use it. Now what you're going to do is add in very hot water to this, and then you're going to mix it, okay? Everything has been made for you, so all you have to do is add hot water and you mix, okay? Now here's the trick about palm nut soup. Palm nut soup really thickens fast, so you need to cook it with a lot of water or liquid, but not too much. Don't make it too watery, but the water should be a lot, enough like this. At least let it get to the brim of your saucepan, okay, depending on the quantity of soup you're making. Otherwise, if it starts to boil, it may be too thick, and if you keep adding water and water, it will be diluting the seasoning. And remember that the seasoning that you use for your protein is what is going to cook the palm nut soup, unless you want to adjust the seasoning with some sauce. Now cover this and let the palm nut soup cook for at least 20 minutes before you start adding your fish content. Now I'm adding in some SAPAKU fish, and then I'm adding in some ADWENE as well, smoked fish, okay? You can add some mackerel fish or whatever you want to add. Cover this soup and let it cook for about 15 to 20 minutes. So in total, this soup shouldn't cook for more than an hour. I mean, it shouldn't cook for too long. Once the protein is soft enough, you're good to go, and the oil starts to settle, you're good to go. You can adjust your seasoning with salt at this point if you like. Otherwise, make sure you season your soup well, or the meat well at the beginning, so that it can carry the soup. Okay, now I have my niece fufu here because I can't be pounding fufu at this time of the day. So I'm going to be using my neat fufu, and if you want to know how neat fufu is made, please just type it in my comment section. I'm going to respond to it. Okay, now I'm just going to drive and mold my fufu, and that's it. I'm good to go. Now my palm nut soup is ready. Like I said, it shouldn't take so long to cook. Just make sure everything is ready for you, from your soup base mix to your tomato mix to the palm nut extract and everything else, okay? And if you don't want the soup to be too thick, make sure that you add enough water to the brim when you're cooking the soup. But here's the trick. If the soup starts thickening when you're cooking it, please, you can just add water to it to dilute it, okay? And when you do that, just leave it on low heat, let it boil and just leave it to do its thing, okay? Do not worry at all. It doesn't matter because palmnut soup, that's how it is. It thickens up so quickly. So if that's your problem, you can solve it with this method I'm teaching right now. Now I'm just going to serve this with my fufu and then enjoy myself, okay? Thank you for watching this video. If you like my videos, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like and share. Bye!